Hello, can you hear us, please? Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
wonderful.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think we can start. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Fabio Nascimbeni from the European Training Foundation, and it's my big pleasure to welcome you to this webinar, this final online event of the New Learning Club on STEAM teaching innovation, so on teaching on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. This is the final event of the first New Learning Club that we have launched this year. So it's again, we are still in a pilot phase, I have to say. So this first New Learning Club went very well, and it's great to see already we had more than 200 people registered, and I see more people are coming, so we have a good crew here. I will leave the floor in a moment to the leaders of the club, Merab Labadze and Merea Abramishvili from Georgia, to tell you about the club story, what we did, what we have learned, and what we have produced together with you. And then I will leave the floor later to Águeda Gras Velasquez from European Schoolnet, who will give us some ideas on the STEAM movement in Europe, coming from Scientix, and also telling us a bit what's around us. Of course, we are an international group, but we are, as you know, we have a focus on the ETF partner countries, so the European neighborhood, but there is much more going on STEAM in Europe and beyond. And then at 2:30, around 2:30, we will dive into the outcome of the club, the new learning clubs of the ETF community of innovative educators share the idea of producing something, even something simple. In this case, it has not been so simple. Actually, it is a very elaborated outcome. You will hear in a moment from the word of our STEPS colleague and from the words of three contributors to this outcome. And then we will have a final moment, as usual, an open discussion where we can hear your opinion about the future of the club, because this first phase of the club is finishing today. But then, of course, we have many more things to do. So we would like to hear from you. What do you think about some possible futures of this group of educators and experts who have been working together in the past 7 to 8 months? I think we started around March, if I remember well, March, April. So it's already some time we are working together. Okay, so I will not steal more time from you. I'm just reminding you that this webinar is featuring interpretation into Russian and Georgian. Georgian because the leadership of this new learning club is with two colleagues from Georgia. So we are expecting actually a bit more participants than usual from this country. So welcome to all our Georgian colleagues and friends. And I'm leaving the floor now to Medea and Merab, who have been leading the work of this club together with us in the last months, to hear about the story of the club and what we have learned. And for any questions, feel free to write in the chat or to raise your hand. As usual, these webinars are rather informal. We are a community of peers and colleagues, so feel free to take the floor or to ask for the floor for the discussion part. Over to you, dear Merab and Medea.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Fabio, for an introduction, for this nice opportunity. Idea?
Yeah, hello, everyone. I mean, you will start talking. Yes, introduction. Merhaba.
Yes, it was really a very interesting journey. Let me introduce myself. I'm a STEM enthusiast by default because I'm a physicist by my first occupation. I'm not working as a professional scientist, but I'm trying to pave the road for the new generation of scientists. And I started on a non-governmental organization years ago that is called Innovative Education Foundation in Georgia, and it focuses on STEM education. One of its focuses is STEM education. We have been promoting it during 13 years. And recently we've joined the community of innovative educators, and you know that this project, this initiative is a part of the community. And for myself, it was a very nice experience. It was lasted half a year, but I hope it will continue. I will present you the outcomes, but I wanted just to emphasize some process. You could find online the landing page of the this initiative, Innovative STEAM Education Club. We had 4 meetings and final meeting now that is summarizing all our activities, but I hope very much that we'll have the opportunity somehow to continue some activities and interact with each other. I can recall the experiences of the very first webinar when we were mapping our thoughts to a direction we could go. I prepared one slide when I was comparing what ChatGPT thinks about the future of STEAM education and what practitioners and experts do believe it's important. There were, of course, some overlaps like gamification, adaptive curriculum, partnerships with the industry, interactive learning, and STEAM labs and marketplaces. We also managed to get a lot of new information, new knowledge about the new experiences and the new cases around the Europe and beyond. So one of the activity lines of the community was learning about the experiences and the cases. So we had several cases you can find online, both the recordings of those webinars and also the presentations, which cover very different areas from gamification of STEAM education, also instead applying STEAM education to enhance using games for enhancing STEAM education, also very simple science tools to enhance it, these experiences and different STEAM practices. So focusing either on women or also on some nature tech, harnessing technology to reconnect with nature. We also had some design thinking elements. So it was very interesting, and artificial intelligence, of course. Though it was very interesting journey, and Yulsi will present you what the outcome is. We haven't expected this kind of outcome in the beginning. Of course, it was quite open-ended in the beginning, but in the end, I'm pleased to have these results, and my colleagues talk about this. Apart of the exchanging the information cases, I think we created some informal club, quite informal, from like-minded people from different countries, which is open. This is a part of the wider community of innovative educators, but I did like the idea to focus on different directions and somehow to filter these directions and to also focus on some areas that are naturally closer to some practitioners and some experts than others. And I hope you like the outcome, and you who join us for the first time will also contribute by your new ideas in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I will continue talking. I will also introduce myself. I'm Medea Abramishvili from Georgia, and I'm a doctoral student focused on implementation of STEM education in formal settings. And apart from this, I'm also a co-founder of educational startup called STEAMit. And today it's an honor to speak with you as one of the leaders of the Innovative STEAM Education Club. As it was mentioned, this past 6 months flew by so quickly. During this time, Club has been a unique and inspiring journey. As space, we have more than 140 educators and professionals expressed interest in coming together to address some of the most pressing challenges in STEAM education. Over the past months, as you see on this slide, we have focused on creating practical, impactful, and inclusive resources for educators, and not only. And also what I would like to mention, a few days ago, I had the chance to present our club at the STEM Women Congress in Barcelona, and the feedback we received again showed how important this kind of initiatives are for improving education and driving innovation. And of course, a huge thank you to the European Training Foundation and everyone here for being part of this journey. And of course, I'm excited to see what we will do next together. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. So as complementing what was just said, let's say the New Learning Club, as Medea was saying, has been working for some 6 months in a group of people. We got quite a high number of expressions of interest, and we have a number of people, we will hear from them in a moment, who have been actually contributing practically to the club outcome. And now the idea is really to give back the results of this club to the whole community. So this webinar is also being recorded to make sure that everybody from the community and beyond can actually benefit from it. We will go back to Merab and Medea later when we will be discussing the possible futures of the club. But as I was saying before, the club is not the only initiative around, the only international initiative working to promote STEM and STEAM in an inclusive way. Let's say we try to keep it as inclusive as possible. In Europe, one of the most relevant initiatives running since a number of years, quite successfully, I have to say, is Scientix. And so we have been actually in contact with Scientix since the beginning of the work of the club, also to make sure that when the club will be over, or at least the first phase of the work of the club will be over, as it is coming to an end today, we are connected. You can all be connected to another community, a larger community that is discussing and advancing on in a collaborative way on STEAM developments at international level. Hoping to have raised your curiosity, I'm now giving the floor to Águeda Velázquez to hear about Scientix, about a bit the history, and a bit about what's happening in Europe and a bit beyond on the issue of STEAM. Águeda, please.
So thank you very much for first of all inviting me, and second for giving me the chance to also present today a bit about Scientix. Now, I'm kind of curious to know how many people in this room know about Scientix already, but in any case, I am going to tell you a bit about it in 1 second, as soon as I get the slides ready. And I want to start from the title. So I'm gonna get the slides on. So very first, you were saying that the presentation is about Scientix, the STEAM movement in Europe. So I thought very important to start from here because the very first comment I was thinking about was this. so there's a whole discussion always about what does STEAM mean. And so I thought to clarify for us. So for scientists, the Community for Science Education Europe, we use the brackets because for us, it's about integrated STEM teaching and learning. So later on, Jessica will be talking about a bit more about STEAMit as well and other resources. But here the point was that it's about having two different subjects, two different STEM subjects working together. And the idea is that one has to be a STEM one, but any other subject can be anything else. So it could be, out of curiosity, I mean, there's about 70 people in this room. It could be physics, it could be chemistry, but it could be arts, it could be graphics, it could be design, it could be even sports. And that's what we really like. We encourage the collaboration, the connection between subjects and teachers from any subject working together towards a common goal. And that's why we like the bracket part. So it's all about integrated. Now, by integrated, we also mean that it has based on competences, so in competence-based education for 21st century. So we're talking about problem and project-based learning, so anything that has to do with actual hands-on activities. We talk about inquiry-based science education, and we do talk about content language integrated learning. So it doesn't mean also addressing different subjects and different languages as well. So you do have some links on the screen, which if they don't work, we'll be sharing them later on anyway. So I'll be happy to share the slides. The third aspect of this integrated STEM teaching and learning is connecting with real world problems. So we're talking about, it could be climate change, but it could be gender, it could be responsible consumption and production, it could be anything, any issues and any priorities in the world that need to be addressed. And by this integrated STEM teaching and learning, it's about making sure that all these topics are addressed in a way that the students see how what we're doing is connected with something that's happening outside. We do have many cases where the students are used to seeing things in the classroom and then leaving the classroom and realizing that the world is something else. Having integrated STEM teaching and learning means connecting with all these aspects. So all this is about why for us, it's about the STEAM movement in Europe. The second aspect, Fabio was saying it very nicely, how what are the priorities, but we have in the room people from across the world and beyond. And that's why I wanted to say that for us is the STEAM movement in the world, and that's for us is Scientix. It did start as a European project, a very much European Commission funded project, but it's become the community for science education in Europe. It's become the community for everybody. And by everybody, it really means everybody. We've been running since 2009, this initiative, and I see other things appearing. And it does offer a space for all the people working on the science education, teachers, education researchers, policymakers, STEM education professionals to exchange, collaborate, and learn from each other. It's kind of what you were saying about your club that you've been discussing and meeting for a while. And how do you make sure that it goes further? So Scientix reaches over 10,000 teachers across the world every month. So we're talking about an indirect reach of 120,000 students every month. Now, the Scientix is coordinated, I should add, by European Schoolnet. So that's the organizational workforce. So Scientix is our STEM initiative. Now, European Schoolnet, we're a network of 30 plus ministries of education. We talk about 30 ministries of education that do have STEM as a priority. And because it's a priority, the STEM education, we do work on improving it. And we're talking about primary, secondary, or even going to early childhood. So depending on what subjects you're teaching in Scientix, you're going to be finding people and resources and everything that you need at every possible level. And it is a community in the sense that we started very much in a way very centralized, but it's become a decentralized action where Scientix actions or activities are happening everywhere. And sometimes even I'm not sure what's going on. And I've been involved from the very beginning because we believe in this decentralized approach. Now, what does Scientix provide? It does provide, of course, networking events. So we participate in activities like today. We have a network of over 1,500 Scientix ambassadors. Some of them I see that are joining today. We have a portal where we have all the information provided. We have online campaigns. We have the STEM school label where we offer schools to work on their STEM school strategy. we talk about Scientix TV. So if you've never seen Scientix TV before, you have a link there to one of our latest episodes. And if you want to contribute or participate, that's something you can do as well. And we do offer professional development for teachers. We do have webinars, we have workshops, we have online courses. And I have added a link to one coming up soon in December 3rd, which is about technology, community, and career role models in STEM education. So if you would like to join, again, it's open to everybody, not only people in Europe. Now, this is all very generic, so I wanted to go through one example of how Scientix supports different topics. So here, I'm going to be addressing now the topic of green and blue education, for example, which I know it's a topic that is in everybody's minds nowadays. Nowadays, and you can see that it's about green and blue. And what do you mean? What do we mean by that? So, say for example, green and blue education for a better tomorrow. So we're talking here about everything from gardens to oceans to soil to everything, from integrating it into kids lessons from their early childhood to as they grow older as well. Now, we do it through projects. So for example, what does green and blue education mean? So for us, it means competences. So basically help the teachers, students and teachers understand, care, and act for the planet. We're talking about teaching and learning outside the classroom. I mean, if you have nature activities in the classroom, of course, you want to take them outside as well. We're talking about contextualization of STEM education in society. So this is what I was telling you before about connecting it to real life problems and issues. And of course, it's about nurturing the students and the citizens of today and of tomorrow, of course. Now, how does Scientix work? On this one slide, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different projects addressing so environmental sustainability in different ways. You can see LUS over here, so that's about soil, or you have Cool Schools, which is about connecting schools as climate shelters. You have Carbonite that goes into climate change. You have, let's see, what else do we have? We have Life Terra, so that's about trees from what you can see. We have oceans. How do all these projects get to work together? How do we make sure that there's not just independent actions? So that's what Scientix does. It helps bring all the actions together, because we know, as you all know because you're in this meeting, is that if we work together on it, it becomes stronger. It becomes as a better action, a better activity. Now, how do we address it in the different projects? And PowerPoint just broke because I pressed nature-based solutions. So I'm going to make sure I'm back here. So any of these projects, when you have the slides, you will see that you can press any of those buttons and go to the correct project. So for example, blue education. Now, this means about oceans. It's about ocean literacy. We're talking about accessing the accessible resources on oceans. We're talking about restoring and protecting and maintaining ocean biodiversity, about the importance of the ocean in our life, from climate to food to basically well-being. All these actions together are important in terms of blue education. When you go to green, you go a bit more into the environmental actions. So you're talking about bioeconomy careers, nature-based solutions. So basically how to use nature solutions based on nature to solve problems. And we're talking about outdoor learning and experiential hands-on approach, and of course, whole school approaches. To do this, there's a number of actions, and that's not only through us, but of course, you all know about the European Commission's GreenCom, that connects green and blue education competences. So we're talking about sustainability, we're talking about knowledge, skills, and attitudes. We're talking about empathy, responsibility, and care for our planet. Through Scientix, all these actions work together as one. If we go to, for example, bioeconomy, a project like GenB2, the GenB will provide you with resources, teaching materials. You can find activities for different ages. You can see games, you can see videos, you can see quizzes. But what happens when these projects finish? Actually, like Fabio was saying, what happens when an initiative has reached its end? So that's where Scientix comes in. It collects all the teaching materials, it collects all the groups, and we collect all the even the training. So LifeTerra, for example, created a guideline for school planting, and basically how to plant the right tree in the right place. It's not just about planting trees, but making sure that you know where to plant it. All these teaching materials come back to Scientix, where it has a repository of resources that kind of can be there and accessed by teachers across the world. And they're available in 36 plus languages. So I'm sure you can find teaching materials in all your languages. We also, as I said, organize online training. So for example, if someone is interested on exploring nature-based solutions in the classroom, they could go to Nature-Based NBS of the World, the project, or they can go straight to Scientix and find the MOOC. So that's one of the courses that is available in January. And for some of you in the chat, I was saying whether you were asking about certificates. So for example, these courses do have a certification at the end of the courses. So we encourage you to sign up, and they're open for registration. They're opening for registration soon, and you can go to the European Schoolnet Academy and find all the information there. Now, Scientix is all about collaboration and bringing back to the community as well. So all the courses, all the materials are open. They have Creative Commons license allowing derivatives. That means that if you really like something and you want to use it for something else, you can also go and take the materials and use it for your own workshops and activities. And I saw Fabio commenting, so if you do have any questions, please go ahead and ask as well in the chat. Finally, I wanted to mention regarding to ocean literacy, for the European Commission, for example, has a European Atlas of the Seas that's full of resources as well that you might want to access and integrate into your different classes and activities. Because starting alone and starting activities by yourself is not as fun as if you already see what's there and you bring everything to the next level. And finally, saying that we do bring everything back together. So in a way, I've been telling you everything that Scientix is doing and kind of putting out there. One of our major actions where we turn around and the focus goes to every single teacher. Everything everybody does on STEM education is a STEM Discovery campaign. So every year from the 1st of February to the end of April, we have thousands of teachers across the world sharing their actions. You will be able to share there your events, your activities, the materials you've created, everything the club does, everything that you are doing or you're thinking about doing, any feedback you're providing to other projects or initiatives. That's how Scientix brings together everything done, not only just like at project level, but at the individual, at school level, at policy level, every way. The next STEM Discovery campaign will be starting on the 1st of February. So I encourage you to go to Scientix and try to see what's coming next and to join the different activities. And basically, because it's a community for science education in Europe, everybody and everything is welcome there. You can join yourself. How can you make sure that you're never alone again in classes, whether it's through the clubs or with ETF support or yourself, is basically joining Scientix, which you can do through either going to register the portal or following up the newsletter, because there you can find every second week we provide updates of what's coming next. And of course, social media channels, a few of them included on this slide. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. But most importantly, you make Scientix, you make the community for science education in Europe. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ageda. Very clear and again, impressive the work that you did actually since 2009, you said. So it's really a long time, a well-established community with big numbers. I know that some of the ambassadors of the ETF community of innovative educators are also ambassadors of Scientix. So we share the pleasure of working with some colleagues such as Medea. And actually, again, if you have any question, dear colleagues, feel free to use the chat. I have one question for you. One thing we saw in our work in the club is that many times exchange of information happens, as you were saying before, even exchange of content. So maybe somebody is finding interesting a piece of content, it can use it. But then, at least in our case, we did not go the one step beyond. So we did not create mini projects, more or less like more stable collaborations, because that's not in our mandate, let's say. But the idea is that we hope that these things happen, but typically they don't happen by themselves. You need some maybe support, maybe some resources, or so on. So what is your experience in Scientix in terms of moving from contacts and knowledge sharing into actual collaboration, transnational collaboration, if you have some cases that maybe can inspire our listeners?
So that's the collaboration is always an interesting point. In a way, you just need willing partners and, of course, interested partners. So we've had cases. I like two examples. One was a case where we brought 180 teachers from across the world. In that time, it was to Barcelona, and it was all about getting them to talk to each other. What you just said, putting teachers in a room together to exchange. And one of the outputs I found hilarious was that a Swedish teacher from Stockholm wrote in the feedback form, well, thanks for bringing us together. I realized I should cross the street in Stockholm and talk to the school across the street to start collaborating. And in a way, my point here is that it was quite interesting. Like, really? You had to go all the way to Barcelona to think about talking to the teacher in the school across your street. So I would say the first step is not to underestimate that spark, that point of the first collaboration between the different teachers or stakeholders. That kind of is a very important first step. The second one you said is then how do you support it in a way with resources or financially? I've seen teachers, Scientix ambassadors sit together during one dinner and have a project written within that dinner, and then go and basically either go to eTwinning and have a collaboration project, or even write a proposal for Erasmus+. So it's just the next step. I don't think every idea or every collaboration will end up in a more established project, but I think educators can do it, and they've been doing it across the world. And you were saying, like, but how do we know if it's happening? And that's the third question. We can't know all the time. And I remember a few years ago where, like, I've been managing Scientix from day one, which means I knew everything that was happening in theory. Well, that was my job. And there was this call from the European Commission where they were saying, they were looking for projects to award. And I said, okay, I'm going to nominate Scientix. And as part of the nomination, it said, you need to submit 2 support letters by educators saying how they impact. So I thought, okay, fine, it's a Friday, I need to submit it Monday, fine. I wrote to the Scientix ambassadors. At the time, we had like 700 ambassadors. And I wrote to them and said, well, can I have a letter of support for this application? And it was a Friday, okay? So in theory, I was on holidays for the weekend. And I had to work because I received 350 letters from Scientix ambassador within 24 hours with stories of how Scientix was helping them. And my point here is not, oh, look how cool Scientix is. My point here is that when I was reading those letters, they told me about loads of things that were happening that I did not know about. And it was a very it was a humbling experience where I said, you know what? That's what Scientix is. Scientix is happening everywhere, any collaboration. And so going back to your question, how do I make sure that it happens? I'm sure it's happening. Will I know that it's happening all the time? No. Can it happen? Will they find projects? Absolutely. Erasmus, eTwinning, whatever. It will happen.
It is the same feeling we have here within the community of innovative educators. Sometimes we discover things which have happened already 1 year before, thanks to the community, and we didn't know. I have a last question, or actually a request for advice. If you were an educator, a trainer, and we have a lot of people from vocational training here, from secondary school, even from higher education, who is teaching and is interested in innovating or discovering new things in the field of STEAM, but has never been part of such communities. Typically maybe somebody who is registered in our community is following, is reading here and there, sometimes also for language barriers is not so much contributing. What would be, from a scientific perspective, apart from, of course, registering to the community, the first thing that you would do to make sure that it's not just passive reading, which is, of course, important, but what would be the first magical step that you would suggest?
So for someone so we've noticed that there's a lot of educators that maybe they're not comfortable in English and they think that's a barrier. So we know, for example, the online courses, they're being followed by people that don't speak English, and they just go and use Google Translate throughout the whole MOOC, and they see that there's no problem communicating that way. So that would be one option. The second, I would say, I know you won't believe it, but I'm quite an introvert here. So if I would say anybody just join any event, and even if you don't speak the first time, that's not a problem. Even anything, one webinar, one MOOC, one workshop. And if you can start at national level if you're not comfortable. And I would just say to anybody like that, trust me, you're all welcome. I've seen teachers speak zero English, not open their mouths in a single event, and 4 years later be the leaders of actions. Because everybody's welcome. I do see a question here from the chat. It says most activities have a focus on the activity. Do you have some education programs that support to develop ecology, culture by culture of thinking? So on our side, not so much as in those terms. We do have more strategic or holistic approaches through school approaches, and I think Jessica later on will be mentioning it as well a bit more. And I don't know, Fabio, if you want to answer that as well, because it goes to you as well.
No, thank you. You're making my job very easy. You even read the questions by yourself. It's fantastic. No, I think actually the message here is that let's say we hope that our community will be and can be also an entry door into Scientix. Scientix has been there for many years, and I think is here to stay. I mean, the plan is not to is to keep on working on this. So the invitation to all of you and also to your colleagues, I mean, talking to all the participants here, is to check Scientix out, to spend some time into discovering there. Maybe, I mean, you can register to a course, even if you expect you don't have the time to finish it, no problem. As Agata was saying, just give it a try. Maybe the first or the second will not go through. Maybe the third one will be the good one, but these are already important steps. Thank you very much again. I might ask you a question maybe also at the end when we are talking about the future of our club. And at the moment we are quite on time, and I would like to move to something we are very proud of within our small club, that is the outcome that we were able to produce. Because one thing is, of course, to get together, to organize webinars, to share practices, but what we really wanted was to have a stress test for our community, to see, let's have a call and see who is really willing and interested to contribute a bit to something that we can develop together. So the club has discussed what was needed in their understanding, and they've been working together with the support of Marta and Roberto from STEPS on something which actually we are now very proud to show for the very first time actually to the larger community. So I'm giving the floor to Marta to hear from her and also from some contributors, and then later we might have time for questions or also for further contributions. Marta, please.
Thank you very much, Fabio. Good afternoon. I will share my screen, so please let me know if you see the presentation.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Full screen, perfect. So we are really glad to present the final tangible result of the club, of our work. The title is Low Tech, High Impact. It's a kind of collection of practices and resources for educators shared by members of the Innovative STEAM Education Club. So let's start. We go to the table of content. As you see, this document is fully interactive. And how the content has been organized, how do you browse the content? So you will see these 6 dimensions of STEAM, and this is the way how we organize organize the content inside this collection. We prepared you a short introduction, which is called the roadmap of the document, and it explains the objective of the document, which is mainly to inspire everyone who is engaged in STEAM or who is just looking for guidance in STEAM application. So it is for all educators, so teachers and educators also from formal and non-formal education, and for heads of school who wish to understand the value of integrated STEAM teaching. So what you will find here in the document, you will find different kind of materials, supporting materials, ready-to-use tools, learning scenarios, some examples of STEAM application, and some interesting talks of STEAM experts. What we would like to highlight, and we are proud, is that this document has been co-created by members of the club. So the tools that you will find, all these resources, are shared by the members. So it's not a result of a research, but it is a contribution of the members. This is something, some quick graphic which will demonstrate what is the document about and what is not. So we would like to say that it's not one size solution which will be perfect, which is the unique way to implement STEAM. Of course, it's not, but it's a great inspiration, and it responds to the current challenges and gives really innovative solutions for educators. In the document, you will find a very short introduction of the club. So what is the club? Where you can find more information? We have our page, which will be enriched. And here is a timeline of our club. So we started as presented by Medea. We launched the club in April. And then we co-created this document during different meetings with club members. So a very nice, I think, aspect of this club is that the most active educators, they has been granted the possibility to promote the club during different international events. And you will also find a quick blog post prepared by them, telling their impressions about this experience. So, for example, we included some testimonials from the members about their impression, how was this journey inside the club. Would they explain why these kind of thematic groups are important for the educators? So next steps, this point will be presented later on by Fabio. So very short club in numbers. So we collected about 20 inspiring practices, which are coming from 12 countries. Okay, coming back to the table of the content, we highlight very much the importance. It was highlighted inside the club, the importance of setting the vision of the STEAM inside the club, inside the clubs. So it has been mentioned. It is very important that the STEAM, the approach cannot be initiated, at least it is very difficult, that is initiated just by one educator. So it's very important that the school leadership and the teamwork is somehow initiated inside the club. We have very nice practice shared by a colleague from Belgium. We hosted Joe de Sutter during one of our co-creating meetings. You will have different materials inside this document. So once we share the link with you, you will have the opportunity to browse, to find more, and to click directly and listen to the experiences of Joe DeSutter about the STEAM vision implementation. And you will find more information about which are the key elements, key aspects of this systemic change. What we learned, and what is very important, that teachers need to be systematically involved in the co-creation practices. It is easy to say, and how to do it, you will find a very nice guide which will guide teachers in the STEAM scenario development. So clicking on the icons that you see on the screen, you will directly go to the guide. In this case, it is a result of EU project coordinated by the Republic of Turkey. Some other examples that I know that Jessica will tell us more later about this are the guidelines. Are the guidelines developed inside the STEAM teaching projects. And here you will know more about how to implement about the STEAM integration inside the school curricula. Exactly. One more example about with resources and training platform for teachers. Again, very nice result here with application of the gendering perspective of STEAM. Very, very nice. Okay, once we settle up the STEAM vision, we can go to practical learning scenarios. Here in this document, you will find many of them. How it is, how it works. You will find again these interactive buttons. Clicking on the button, you will go directly to the learning scenario, which is uploaded on OpenSpace platform. You will find both scenarios and inspiring practices. In this case, you can see, for example, Hedia, which is also ambassador of the community, and she is telling here more about the game creation process and how it influenced the involvement of students. We have practice from Georgia, from Nino, and also Nino will tell us more about the result of STEAM Club in Georgia inside the school. Practice from Uzbekistan, from Zebo, about interactive laboratories. There are quite many. In some cases, for example, here we have example of a learning scenario which fosters 21st century skills. Teachers from Croatia, from the economic school, we hosted them during one of our meetings, and we also have a recording that you can easily access clicking on this button and learn more about how this scenario can be implemented in a school. Here is a very interesting application of STEAM. In this case, fostering also example of how STEAM approach can foster intercultural communication and awareness. It's a practice which has been awarded many times on international level. Practice provided by Selçuk Arslan, which is also ambassador of the community and very active inside our group. As you see, we wanted to include different different learning examples of materials also. So, like in this slide. Exactly. Also the practice of our club leader, Medea. implement, and many more. So once you have the link, you can browse and see and learn. And we hope also you get inspired by this collection. You can add your practice in STEAM. And well, we would like to thank very much all the contributors of the practices. And here you can see our team. So ETF, Ermina and Fabio, who monitor all the work. Inside the club, content leaders, Medea and Merab, who are experts in STEAM, who are ambassadors of the community, and me and my colleague Roberto from STEPS, that gave some ideas about how this huge quantity of materials, resources can be organized in a visual, and how it can be also nicely presented in this booklet. Thank you again. Thank you very much. I think I can pass the floor directly to Jessica.
You're thinking right. Hello to everyone. Thank you for having me. Roberta, it's fine. Do you want to wait? No. Okay. So I will start directly with my presentation. That's is connected to everything what has been said before. I'm presenting myself. I'm Jessica Nivengori from Italy, in the Research Institute for the Italian Ministry of Education. I'm not Italian, I'm German. And but still I'm speaking English now, so I don't know what accent you hear, the Italian, the German, or none of them. I will try to share my presentation. Okay, and go to the presenting part, hopefully. Okay. So as I said before, I'm talking about the integrated approach of STEM education. So for me, as Agata before me already said, it's the A for all. It's not the A for arts, or now even the A for arts. It's starting to get more A for arts or creativity. So for me, it's also at least to all the projects I followed, and actually I was collaborating for indeed. For the STEAM project, and now for another one that I will present you at the end. It's always, for me, it's been that it's important to work across topics, subjects in school, that somehow you get out of this silo teaching, where maybe not always, I don't see that everything in school now needs to be transdisciplinary, and I always have to work in this connection, but that there have to be moments in school where the students also can see that these subjects that normally they learn in silos, they are connected, and they're actually connected in the real world when you start to take a job or just want to solve problems, the famous real world problems. So, but still, as school is a very complex system, and STEAM for that is also not, it seems always easy to say, okay, we're doing STEAM, but to make it somehow systemically, to integrate it in school, that it's not only limited on a once-a-time project, but somehow is a part of the tools kit or set that the teachers are using, that students are using in education, is very important. And in the STEAMED project, I will show you and give you also a link to the resources. And this emerged, and in the end, the work also was very important for me, eye-opening, to stress what are the main roadblocks, obstacles that teachers have to face, that school have to face when you're teaching integrated STEM in the classroom from the teacher point of view. So the STEAMED framework, and then now I will take you by the hand and we go, I think some stages, we will go from the classroom point of view, but for me would be the STEAMIT project. Then I very shortly will show you an approach that is on a school organization or school level. And then we will move even a step ahead, and we are going on a level that is some more connected all the STEAM, like all the STEAM system, like connected to policymaker and what is also circling around like other stakeholders, like, for example, industry. So now for the STEAMIT approach, you can find on the website different publications. This one are the guidelines, how to present, for example, STEM jobs in the classroom as a teacher. How can you integrate them? And I will show you also materials from this Scientix network that they're originally. Yes.
Sorry, Jessica, we just see the first slide.
This is a problem. I'm sorry.
No worry.
I'm not sure why he is, because I'm seeing my slide and it's moving. So how can we solve this?
Maybe try it in, yes.
Jessica, I can share for you if you want.
No,
try to move on.
Impossible. Okay, yeah, try to move on, but there's some resources missing. One slide is missing, and he doesn't.
Okay. Well, now it moves.
No, it moves. Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so it moves.
And
it moves for you, not for me.
Since I interrupted you, let me tell you that you should go on for 5 minutes and then leave the floor to the others. So
yeah, unfortunately, it isn't working. So just okay. If you can show mine. Okay, it doesn't even interrupt my presentation. So I'm stuck here. My computer is blocking. I don't know why.
I'm sharing your presentation and I'm on slide STEM skills shortage.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should go ahead or not.
Okay.
So just tell Erica to move.
Okay. No, I don't know. You see now the STEM skills shortage. Okay, perfect. So actually you can move on, because since I have only 5 minutes, then okay, on the Scientix repository for the STEM jobs, you can find, or with a slide that will be also shared later, you will have all the links to the scenarios, teaching scenarios that will be applied in different European countries for all school grades, so from primary, middle school, and secondary school. And in this learning scenarios also will stress the very important part that and it's about how to connect the activities to STEM jobs. So you will find, if you go to the next slide, the repository, they can access for free really STEM jobs that are described with a video, with a chart describing how they can be integrated to your lesson plan and to your activities, not only to the activities or to the lesson plan that we developed in the STEAMIT project, but also to other lesson plans that you can create, because also a template for the lesson plan making, you can download it from the STEAMIT project. So if you go on to the next slide, important for us when you're doing STEM or STEM activities, integrated STEM activities, that somehow you always connect them to the skills are promoted through the learning activities, that you also try to connect it to the actual background, what now is happening in the outside world, even with new discoveries or new scientific content, and that you also try to invite professionals to school, but for all this and address, for example, stereotypes. But all for that, you can find more information in the guidelines. And if you go to the next slide, you will see the project this year. This is looking on its ongoing project. It will be finished in summer 25. And there we are giving advice or trying to give guidance for different stakeholders, and not only teachers, but also policymaker, head of schools and industry, on how to involve them. And this project already has published some guidelines, some outputs, but the roadmap itself, the European or the roadmap to integrated STEM education will be published in summer 25. So stay tuned. If you go to the next slide, and I think this is the last one since I think the 5 minutes off. If you're interested in on a school level, what the whole school can do for STEM education, maybe you can have a look also at the STEM school level. It's also a project from the European SchoolNet. And there is like a self-assessment on a school level and 3 batches that some will guide you to implement STEM on the school level better. So that's it, my presentation. But no fears, you can just, end it since I already exceed my time. And thank you. I will send you the slides with all the links.
Yes,
so
thank
no
you
worries.
very much. And actually, Jessica has been one of the contributors to the outcome. So you will find some of these reflections and tools and links also within there. But thank you very much. And actually, it's important, again, also to connect with institutions such as Indire to make sure that, as you say, not only the educator level, but also the school level, and why not also the system level is present. That's quite important. Let's hear now from another contributor of our outcome, of our low-tech and high-impact STEAM collection of scenarios. So I will now move to Georgia, we move to Nino Chipashvili to hear about her idea and practice. Nino, please.
Hello, first of all, I want to say hello. We are very glad to be here to participate in this very great project. So I was helping Nino with English, but we didn't know about the interpretation button here. So she will read this in Georgian. So she will not need my help now. But I'm very interested and I'm very glad to be here and to listen to so many nice people here. Hello.
Nino, we cannot see you. I don't know if it's the camera or something. We can hear you or Jessica, but now you can speak in Georgian, but we cannot see you.
Well, we see ourselves on our screens. Now I think we are here.
Now it's good.
Greetings, my name is Nino Chipashvili. I am the teacher of by the way, do you see the presentation?
Can you see our presentation?
Yes.
Is it visible?
Yes, we see.
Dear.
Hello, I am teacher of mathematics and computer technology at school number 7 of the Saponi, and I am the information technology trainer, and I've been working as the head of the STEM club at the school, and I have already accumulated some experience. The mission of the school is to raise a thoughtful, educated, competitive, and active citizen equipped with digital skills to meet any challenges of a rapidly changing world. And therefore, our goal is to improve the quality of education, implement the new approaches in teaching and learning, and also to provide the education that meets the challenges of the 21st century. And this is why we have created new initiatives to enhance STEAM education, both in the classroom and through the club work as well. This is why we try to implement the cutting-edge technologies and also top-notch technologies at the school. And we have created a Fab Lab, and on this basis, we have the STEAM club. And this is how we promote new technologies. Now let me speak about how we promote and enhance STEM education through club work at the age of students. This is 13 to 16. And we try to fill the shortage of educational STEM resources, and we utilize the secondary materials. Also, we enhance formal and informal education, and also we try to promote the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Our goal is to promote the learning and teaching, and also to develop engineering and technology group work and practical activities. Therefore, through the participation in the innovative STEM initiatives, we try to develop the skills of the students, and we use geometric objects. We construct geometric objects. So when creating 2D or 3D models, we do modeling and perform algebraic calculations, solving problems arising from daily practice. And then we try to use the knowledge of mathematics. And while we conduct chemical experiments, we explore the substances. And here, the students need to have the proper knowledge of chemical materials. And also, we need to use and apply the knowledge from biology while determining the living conditions and planning of the project. And also, we need physics during project implementations. And also, we need art while determining the design of the environment required for the construction. Again, so in order to promote material awareness, and we explore the geographic features of the planet while determining the living conditions on them, and also knowledge of geography means a lot in this respect. So there is natural science, mathematics, and tech, and this is how we integrate the knowledge of students. We also try to promote the problem-solving skills, and this is what we do through projects. And they address the problems, and they try to find solutions to that. We use the group work and collaboration. Our students learn how to collaborate. And this is how they work in their groups, in person or remotely. The students have more opportunities to contact each other. Also, creativity and design, inspiration for creativity that enables the students to develop their vision, also to develop the analytical thinking skills, also the research skills. And then they transfer the knowledge. And if they acquire certain knowledge in a certain subject, then they also use this knowledge cumulatively. Now, a few words about the results. Every year, the school's STEM club participates in an international project. The name of the project is Moon Camp. And we have created that since a couple of years already, and we're now doing the modeling, and we have included the electronics, and we try to enhance our work, and we use a CorelDRAW Fusion 360 and sticker card, and well, many more. And I'm not going to list all of them because of the short time. We try to participate in many international projects, and I would like to thank Merab Labadze, because with his help, I learned about your project, and that was an opportunity for me to participate in that. And I'm so excited to have gained so much experience, and I will try to use this knowledge and apply this in my school. The school also is involved in the youth clubs, and again, Merab Labadze is the great contributor into that. We cooperate with the universities and participate in the projects And also we are involved in other projects together with others, and we try to promote STEM in our schools. In the Fab Lab laboratory, we are using the laser cutting and engraving machines, and this is how we prepare and produce various learning resources that they use in different subjects. And also students make different kinds of souvenirs from the waste materials, and they decorate and paint them, these materials by themselves, and we use it for rewarding the students. Therefore, the motivation of students has also increased, and more students want to join the club every year. While working in groups and pairs, every student has an opportunity to participate in the implementation of different projects. Depending on their abilities and willingness as well, and they are becoming more critical, and their critical thinking skills are enhanced. And with the top-notch technologies, well, students are interested in maths and natural science as well. And by integrating these different subjects, students can learn how different fields are interacting with one another, and how they cooperate, and how they can work together. If we have time, I can show you the work of our students, what they have produced.
Yes, 2 more minutes, and then we need to move to the next speaker, please.
This is a project. This is called Moon Camp, and the students use the Fusion 360, and they have included the Georgian elements when they created the space suits for the participants, and they also created a camp on the moon. And here we see the chemical lab. What I would like to show you, this is what they did in terms of arts, and also there is electric appliances, the swing, and other stuff, and they used laser cutting and engraving equipment, and the shape is the Georgia, the country of Georgia has a similar shape, and this is the artistic elements that the students have incorporated into their work. Now, I would like to show you the experiment in the chemistry lab. This is what they did and what they have presented for the project. That was all done within the framework of one project. This is already uploaded on the website of the school. Here you can see that in the section of projects. This is the collector, or they have been doing the fruit drying equipment and many other projects. This year, as part of the USAID project, we have summarized all the activities, and we presented our outcomes and outputs. And this is a presentation of what the students have been doing during the year. So this is what they have been doing with the help of the laser cutting machine, and we have shared our experience with other schools. These students are 9th graders. They are in the 9th grade, and this is very interesting that they independently are doing this. And this year, more experienced students are involved. And based on their experience, others can learn. They are teaching others how to do the 3D modeling. So that's the collaboration. They take the lead, but they teach others
Thank you very much, dear Nino. I'm sorry, but I think I have to stop you to allow a bit of discussion at the end. So thank you very much. Congratulations for all this work.
That was actually the end of my presentation. I just wanted to show you this, and so I'm done.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you for arranging such interesting activities. Thanks for doing all this. And I would like to thank everybody because that was a huge experience for us. And being a part of your project, that was a great opportunity for us to share the experience.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Nino. Lot of information and lot of practices. Some of these practices have been, as Marta was saying before, translated, summarized, and are available with also some tools and links through our outcome, what we have seen before. So, and of course, then from there you can discover all the different experiences and videos and so on. Last speaker, Mrs. Gunel Mustafayeva from Azerbaijan. Please, Gunel, stay within the 5 minutes so we can have a short discussion at the end. And the floor is yours as the third contributor, one of the contributors to our work, please.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Güner Mustafayeva, Vice President of Little Academy and IT teacher is one of the secondary schools in Baku. Also, I would like to share happy event with you. I think all educators know about this, COP29. Azerbaijan has been selected as the presidency of the 29 conference of parties to be hosted in Baku now. This great conference is currently ongoing in our country. And as a teacher, I am very, very happy, proud of my country, also proud of my President of Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, because it is amazing conference, big organizing. We wish the whole world beautiful green future. And about my purpose, to develop student skills such as analyzing, classifying, comparing, explaining, problem solving, and evaluating. In addition, it is real skills such as flexibility, leadership, sociability, engineering, and inventing in them. Dear Mr. Fabio Nacimbeni, dear Roberto, dear all educators, thank you very much to allow me to present at the online webinar. And now I would like to share with you a short video, my activity in education. Now I share you.
Hello. I would like to inform you about my project Open School or School Without Walls. One of the main goals of the project Green Curriculum is to highlight the experience gained by showing students the importance of interaction between the environment, education, economy, and society. As a result, we can achieve more realistic and student-centered learning. The Open School instills in students the need to protect nature and forms environmental education in them.
now I want to share with you my slides. National STEAM and the national vocational skills. This is what we see in the picture is döşekçe, one of the types of artistic embroidery related to the ancient historical roots and traditions of the Azerbaijan people. Döşekçe has been used as a decorative handicraft in Azerbaijan since ancient times. More geometric elements were used in the döşekçe. These are triangle, square, rectangle, circle. So I integrated döşekçe into the STEAM kit. Here students combine with wooden figures by matching them according to colors and geometric elements, and as a result döşekçe is created. The goal is to introduce fun, engaging approach to STEAM education, develop children's creativity, problem solving, and create supportive learning environment for all students. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Gunel. Actually, it's great. I think it's let's say great mixture. I think the three practices respond somehow to the first question by Ageda. So how to really connect
I also ambassador in Schoolnet Academy. Thank you.
Okay. So actually we are all a big family. So that's a nice feeling. And actually, it's I think these three practices show very well the connection between the creativity side of the art, of the art, and other, let's say, humanistic disciplines with the scientific side of STEAM. So thank you very much. We have now a few minutes, and we have, as you can understand, as you can imagine, we have been discussing in every meeting of an online meeting of this new learning club, the future of the club, because of course we have been working some 7 or 8 months trying to collaborate as much as possible, trying to really build something together. But of course we know that teachers remain teachers with interest, with willingness, and with motivation to learn from each other, also beyond the effort that we can do. And so we would like now to share with you some ideas of what we have for the future, actually, for our new learning club, and hear from you what you think, from our leaders, from Georgia, from Ageda, from people who actually have in their mission, in their daily life, the mission of actually supporting collaboration of educators around the field of STEAM. So the first message is that the club will not close as such, so we will not dismantle the club, so we will stay there, we will be responsive, we will keep on collecting practices, we will keep on collecting events and connecting on events, as we did in Barcelona last week with the STEM Women Congress, where Medea attended, and where we did, as we did in Georgia a few months ago. So we will keep on working on this. We will most probably not work so hard on the production of the outcome that is there. We need some refinement, of course, but it will be now a moment to make sure that the output is used. So this collection of scenarios is used, and we hope to have developed it in a way to target beginners. So these educators who might not be so familiar with innovation, and especially with international collaboration driven innovation. And at the same time, of course, we would like to hear from you. If you have some ideas on things that the club could do, could become, could facilitate, and also take into account, as I was saying before, that there are many other brothers and sisters community around us that could both help us and benefit from the work that we did. I'm tempted to give the word to Ageda as the first commenter, and then move to our leaders in Georgia. Ageda, how do you see, or if you have some ideas on how a thing such as the club could develop, or what we could do from your experience in the future?
In my view, groups grow naturally and organically. You always have to be a bit careful not to kind of control them too much. So through Scientix, what we do in supporting the different clubs is that we do have these special interest club groups, and we added your club there, where we give the space to the club to kind of grow organically, and note that it's never going to be the same, and I wouldn't worry about that too much. In a way, from Scientix, we're happy to follow up from time to time with the club, see how it's going, how to support, how to create, disseminate what's going on. But if it grows to hundreds of teachers or if shrinks to 30 active teachers, that's not something I would tell the club to fear, because no club will remain the same. And so, but we're happy to support it through Scientix that way.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, we have seen, as expected, let's say, a lot of enthusiasm at the very beginning, big numbers, and then, of course, when it comes to really, working also for issues of time constraints, attending the webinars and so on, we moved exactly to that number. I think we are around 30 to 35 teachers and trainers who actually will also receive an open badge as pioneers of the community of innovative educators, because they've been sort of pioneering in this, from our humble point of view, in this world. But thank you very much. I think that is something we need to explore. It's going to be great to have a place where this club not only can, let's say, develop and grow, but especially can connect with other, especially thematic activities, because we know STEAM innovation is very transversal, but then at the same time, educators are working in a specific subject, which is something that in Scientix is very much present. I would like now to call Merab or Medea into the picture, because you have been pushing for this group not only to develop, but also, let's say, to find something meaningful to do, keeping in mind other educators. And as we always say, educators are always very different and very also different moments in their career and so on. So, Merab, I see you on the screen. Do you have some bright ideas or something that we could do or become or not do? Or not become?
Thank you, Fabio. Thank you for this experience. It was really wonderful and interesting. And the first thought I think Medea also shares is that we don't want it to finish on that stage somehow. Of course, projects come and go, and you find the new ones. But in the sense, we develop some kind of solidarity between us and between the educators. So I think we should somehow brainstorm together with the new participants, or all the community, all the active ones, or at least to present it, or were some active or included into this practice of 20 cases, that we can brainstorm how to proceed. We do it voluntarily. We can continue doing in this way, but again, maybe there could be some. Well, Scientix is fine as umbrella, but maybe there could be some other projects that could involve us horizontally, like peer initiative on some specific topic in STEM, or also I had no idea of so-called cross-fertilization between the clubs, because there is AI clubs, yeah. So why not to have some narrow focus on AI in STEAM, or something like that, or some other activities that in community of innovative educators does. So we can think about that, because we are somehow, at least the ones who were active or leading and actively contributing, we feel that we can do a little bit more in this direction, and also share more practices, and some new ideas will come.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I share this feeling of realistic enthusiasm to go on, but of course making sure that when opportunities arise, as happened during this period, we have the capacity to actually let's say, follow them up and make them happen. Thank you. Medea, you are both an entrepreneur and an educator, and so I think you are used to, let's say, finding your way across communities and partnerships and so on. So any idea before I give the floor for the last round to our participants?
Yeah, thank you, Fabio. As it was mentioned, for example, STEAM is part of my daily life. So yes, I will contribute I will contribute everything like what I can to this club in the future, 100%. But still, I agree with Agata that it shouldn't be something forced for the teacher. And again, I agree with Merab that also we should somehow do some collaboration with the leaders of other projects. So as an entrepreneur and as an educator, I would say that in the local level, of course, I will try with the co-founders, with the people with same ideas that to do something to grow interest in STEAM. But of course, to share experience, it will be great if we will have more like-minded people with us in international level. So yeah, first of all, maybe it will be better if we will have the group of people also with a plan and with the goal, and we will spread the information about this club in the future to the other countries' representatives. Yeah, thank you.
No, that's very important. I think also the national level, at the end of the day, we are all working in national context. And actually, I mean, when I was in Georgia, I realized that there is a movement and there are many people in Georgia that naturally work at Georgian level. So we need to make sure that, as Agata was also saying, we are as decentralized as possible, but at the same time, we tackle opportunities when they come. Roberto and or Marta, you have been the engine of this community and especially of the outcome definition and creation. So, of course, you must have some ideas on how this club could and should develop. Please, Robbie.
Oh yes, we had at the beginning we didn't know where to go exactly or where this pathway would have led us to, because we had some structure together with you and together with our content leaders. But from our perspective, the results overcame the expectations, first of all, in the number of participants, because it's not that easy to have a minimum number of participants for every meeting that we organize. So that was very good, because in average we had dozens of teachers that were willing to participate and to contribute. So we also collected from the practical point of view, many interesting stories, many interesting practices, and we were able to develop this outcome that we just that Marta presented to all of you, that introduced. Of course, as I wrote in the chat, we will share it with you, because our wish is that it will be used by everybody, and so. In general, I think that the participation and this adventure was great. So also for this reason, I think that we should make it as sustainable as possible. What we can do, of course, is to stimulate people once again to share their practices, their case histories, their scenarios, learning scenarios, and so on. As Fabio was saying at the beginning, there is also the possibility to gather the ETF badge as a pioneer for presenting practices and so on. And of course, and to use as much as possible the results that we have produced. And in the best possible world, the club should be self-sustainable, so people could work all together to meet up from time to time and find a way to go on with our objectives.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, indeed, I think we have a path. Of course, we are constrained by the potential amount of activities, speaking of different countries and so on, and that is why I again thank Agata for the possibility to relying on communities like Scientix. We are 4 minutes later, so I open the floor for comments on the chat. If you have some ideas that we might not have thought of, thank you for all the pictures that have been shared spontaneously, and thank you for all the thank yous. I think the presentations today gave an idea of what you can find in the outcome, in the product that the community produced, the club produced, which actually is showing a bit the level of intensity of this collaboration along these 6 months. And then, of course, there were the events and the different meetings. So a lot of work that you can find in the web page of the club that you will receive the link. You will receive a link to this and to the outcome right after this webinar. I know that asking for comments 5 minutes late is not always the best way, but the good thing is that since we have agreed, or at least we have announced that the club is not over, we will have time for more discussions and more ideas gathering also in the future. Okay, so I think it's time to close. So I would like to thank you, to give a big thank you to the speakers, again to my colleagues and to the STEPS team, to our let's say representatives of our club, to Ageda from Scientix, and to all the participants. And again, you will receive all the respective links to keep on being in touch and to keep on working together on this club and on other learning clubs that we are supporting. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you very much.